Okay, well, hi guys. Welcome to our podcast here. Today, we are privileged to have a Montreal native comedian, now based in Toronto. He performs all around Canada. He does some crazy shit like getting drunk on stage, drinking eggnog, making audio comedy album, which only few comedians still do it. He got 4 albums out so far. He's the only comedian that I know, obviously, that have 2 first name or 2 last name. Here we have the country singer Hunter Collins, guys.
you know about that country singer with the same name as me?
I do, buddy.
Man, I remember when like the internet started and I like Googled my own name and I saw that little shit.
Yeah.
With his little cowboy hat.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
So you're not the country singer?
No, man.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave then because I really thought you were with.
No, I sing pure Latin pop ballads.
Oh, nice.
Must be good when you're drunk. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I saw that country singer Hunter, and I was like, well, I know for a fact he's gonna know it too, because you can't. Yeah. When you go on YouTube and you put the name Hunter Collins and you see that thing singing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he never went any further than his backyard, probably.
Yeah, well, there's a happy ending. I mean, when I first saw him, he was like 12 years old, and I've never hated a 12-year-old more in my life. He was like winning the web optimization. Yeah. And then he grew up, and his voice started cracking, and I was like, "Fuck you, Hunter Collins."
Yeah, you just fucked it up, buddy.
I win. And there's also like a Jesus freak football high school quarterback. And I used to troll him online all the time. And then nice. And there's also a kick-ass Hunter Collins who's a like interpretive roller skate dancer. And he is 100% worth looking up. And we have like the same haircut right now and shit. It's insane.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
We need to check that out. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Oh, buddy.
So when you were born with that name, you're destined to do something strange, right? So that's what I guess, especially.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Hunter, let's start from the beginning here, buddy. You said before you realized your passion for comedy. I think it happened in the kindergarten. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know how you heard about that. Jeez, you must do a deep dive.
I got connection, Hunter. So, well, that's what I read about Hunter. Like at kindergarten, he was telling a story, and he had a few laugh out of it and all that. And he realized that he had some sort of a passion inside him with these things. And I was just wondering,
so that's when kids went back home and said, "Fuck you, mom."
Yeah. Well, I was wondering exactly, because knowing Hunter, the kind of comedy that he does. So at the age that you were back then, I think you were like 5 years old or something. Yeah. Like, what kind of story were you telling?
It was like a hardcore, greased up, double-edged dildo felt story, and it led to me getting laid. So I just couldn't turn back.
Oh, those double head dildo. It's a classic. At 5 years old, the first one you find at 5 years old, it's always a little shock. But
she was 4.5.
At the same age, I was going with gouache jokes, or water paint jokes. So yeah,
that's so funny. It was literally a story about a tree that had candy growing on it that would eat kids. Oh, was the story I was telling, and everyone was laughing. That's not scary
at all.
No, and but the game was you're supposed to start the story, and the kid next to you picks the story up, it goes all the way around the circle. But the kid next to me took it into some weird thing about fucking sheep or something. I was like, "You don't know the story. What the hell are you talking about?"
He cried.
But I also didn't speak French well enough, so I didn't really understand what the hell was going on.
Okay.
Oh, so when you were really young, you were not quite comfortable in French?
No, I didn't come out of the gate bilingual. When you're a kid, they just throw you into a classroom full of diseased French kids, and they were like, "Figure it out." Hunter.
Asti, tabarnak. Yeah.
Oh boy. I read also, Hunter, that anyway, so you grew up eventually, obviously. And so you did the Montreal Art School. Obviously. Well, we all do. I mean,
so you didn't have a beard in kindergarten, right?
I didn't have a beard in kindergarten.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, you grew up. Yeah. That's okay.
Well, I did have a girlfriend who made it look like I wasn't gay. So technically, I did have a beard.
All right.
Oh, nice. Oh,
that's good.
So my question, and it's a really I love that because I'm really curious. So you did the Montreal Art School, okay? So let's be honest here, okay? That's Montreal Art School. We all know people that went to the Montreal Art School. So what it was really like? That was the time of your life where you were drinking every day and discovering your sexuality. Like what happened to you?
Well, that kindergarten story of me telling the story, what happened at the art school. It was a school called FACE, and it stands for Fine Arts Core Education. And Jay Baruchel went to that school. William Shatner went to that school before it was an art school.
That's old.
Yeah.
And
it was basically like you had all the normal classes that you'd have in any other school, but then we had singing, instrumental music, visual arts, and theater. And no, it was the 90s, man. Like it was weird. Like no one was really everyone was a ball of anxiety, and no one was discovering their sexuality. People were hiding it, frankly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the Montreal Art School the same thing like the Juilliard School in New York, or is it something like that?
No. This is just it's a school that goes from kindergarten till grade 11, where we graduate in Quebec.
Oh, okay.
And then and it's all in the same school. So you've got little tiny kids, and then hormonal teenagers and everything in between.
Now I feel bad. I feel like a freaking idiot. So there was no drinking and no.
No.
I thought that was a little bit higher level. It's like, no, we weren't kids. We're 10 years old. I'm like, holy shit, Carl, come on.
They drank juice boxes, I guess.
Yes.
But
we had
besides
our Berlin Godelet.
Berlin Godelet au chocolat. Yeah, that's good.
Really? You guys have the chocolate one? What a bunch.
Not the milk delivery. They would do. Did you guys have that thing where they would deliver a giant bucket of milk to your class like every fucking Wednesday or something?
Yeah. There was a milk crate with a bunch of little.
What the hell was that?
I'm older than you guys, so we were getting the milk directly from the cow. So
they just bring the cow inside the classroom. Yeah. There you go, guys.
Yeah, door to door.
You choose your okay.
No, but us we had the Berlin Godelet also, but we brought our own quick powder.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and then we're like toot, 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 like in secret. And we shaked it, and the teacher kept telling us, "You don't have to shake Berlin Go, Yeah, we do."
Oh wow! No one thought of that in my entire school. That is like
Gen X were so bright. Gen X kids were so bright.
I was living in a ghetto.
Ingenuity.
I was living in a ghetto. There's no such a thing as chocolate milk. The only thing I know is like milk mixed with water, because there was not enough milk to make cereal or not.
At least you didn't have the Bill Cosby chocolate milk, right?
Oh fuck! Jesus Lord! Nice.
That's chocolate milk that wears a sweater and tells heartwarming jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
What a nice story from that milk that's looking at me a little weird.
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
how did you go to milk to Bill Cosby? How that happened?
Well, chocolate milk. That's the stuff you put stuff in it, and then you say, "Girls, hey, you want chocolate milk, lady?"
Oh, that's a premise.
Just heard about it. I don't know. I never did it. Just to be clear.
You start with the chocolate powder and milk when you're young, and you end up like Bill Cosby. Okay, that makes sense now.
And you don't sniff the chocolate powder.
How things have changed, eh? No one's saying Bill Cosby does the body good now.
I think just the word Bill Cosby is kind of taboo right now.
Yeah, sure. Let's see if we can say it 17 more times during this podcast.
He went from the god of comedy to the
challenge accepted.
Slowest fucking dirt. Like, So you went to Humber College also, my understanding, and you did a major in stand-ups, I guess, for comedy, right?
Yeah, I was at film school in Montreal, and it was just an excuse for my buddy and me to make like funny videos. Like we weren't really, it was pre-YouTube and stuff, and we were just making dumb videos like about, we had this video called Midget Jesus 2000 about this little person, Jesus, and his only power is that he could turn paper into more paper, but he had followers. So he had one follower. And he'd try to get out of every jam by multiplying paper, and they just get their ass kicked all the time. And, it was just my buddy with his knees and shoes pretending to be a little person. It was terrible.
Nice.
My teacher was like, yeah, maybe you're not going to be a filmmaker. Maybe you should check out this school in Toronto where they have a whole program for comedy. And I looked up the curriculum online, and the classes were like stand-up, sketch, improv, physical comedy, and I fell in love and just sort of ditched everything and moved to Toronto and did that for 2 years.
Yeah. It's just funny for me, to me, like as a Quebecer, as old, I was in Quebec before, and to hear like comedy and Toronto match together, it's like, oh, really? Is that right? So, but I mean, is the school over there? Because l'École Nationale de l'Humour, Montreal. Can you compare the programs kind of similar to what they do in Montreal?
I don't honestly know a lot about l'École Nationale, but is it an accredited program?
Yeah, you come back with a college degree, I think, and
then it's the same thing.
And you have to pay $15,000. So.
Whoa! Okay, not the same thing.
Yeah, that's a kind of a private college, if you wish.
Okay.
I think their again said that was like $20,000 now or something.
Wow.
So anyway, regardless, really expensive. But and my second question coming with this, Hunter, why you didn't try to get into National School of Montreal, the comedy?
I don't know if they had it in 2002. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that
French.
I never knew about it, and it's tragic how unfunny I am in French. Like, it's unbelievable. I was just talking to my girlfriend like before this about how the sentence structures are so different in English and French that coming up with punchlines just in English was always more natural to me. But I was raised on French comedy, like François Pérusse and stuff like that.
You're a big fan.
Yeah. And that's why I wound up doing all those audio comedy albums, those sketch comedy albums. But I just thought I was funnier in English, and I think I wanted to sort of spread my wings a little bit. And
those audio, I really like your album, by the way. It's
thank you, man.
You did one actually. You talk about like the older one. I think you talk about like the French also and all that. You put a Quebec flag with the Canadian flag, I think, on the.
Yeah, I have an album called Canadian, and it's all about bilingualism.
You talk about like exactly. I like this one. I think that was one of your first one, right? Is it the first?
Yeah, that was my second album.
Second album. And now the last album that you did here. Sorry, I had the goddamn. The nincompoop or whatever. My first album was Nincompoop. It was my first. That was my first sketch album, and then I did a sequel called Nincompoop that came out in 2018. I saw both of them actually, and one of the bit that I really like, and that's funny because every time you go to like a Tim Horton and all that, and you order a breakfast and all that, we all talk about I'll take a bacon and egger, and he does a bit on the freaking bacon and egger, and it's something that we all kind of think about, like when we say it, but we never really make a full, he break apart exactly why we're saying this, right?
Why it's awkward.
Why it's awkward, and we still use this. But that's funny because since I listened to your bit on this album, I don't say it anymore. I just said bacon and eggs because
I think I changed the world.
I think you changed the world. Do you mind a little bit explaining your vision on this bit when you made it, like a little bit of?
Sure. I mean, every time you'd go to A&W specifically, they had the bacon and egger for so long. And you just like the same way you see like French Connection UK, like, what if it says fuck over there? And then you look, oh, they've switched the letters around. It doesn't say fuck. The same way you would see bacon, and then you'd see Negger. And I'd be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, it's N''Egger. There's this tiny little apostrophe in there, though. Like, and just to have the letters Ngger up anywhere is just fucking. I don't care what the vowel is in between the N and the G. It's insane.
It is.
And now and then A&W wound up changing it at some point in recent years. Now it's, I don't know what they call it, but still you go to like small town diners, bacon and egg are all over the place. It's just, you know, and then like you have to order this thing, and sometimes like the person at the cash is black, and you're having to say like nigger to their face. It's fucking crazy.
Really? Bacon and eggers on.
Get me the bacon and N-word, please.
Right.
You just don't want to say it. The bacon and N-word.
I think that was that kind of stuff. Was white people getting away with that, you know?
But
those guys are sneaky. So,
and the thing is, no one says egger.
Yeah.
No.
Like egger is
nobody says that.
It's such a stretch.
Yeah, no, exactly. They stretch it definitely. You guys need to listen to this album. It's quite priceless. I love it, and the way you do things and all that. It's really entertaining. When I started it, I couldn't stop. It's just
thanks, man.
Keep you always like laughing and thinking and the whole 9 yards. I love it. So that's
the second one's a lot better than the first one. You know, I had a lot more time with this, and like I sort of. I learned so much from doing my first sketch comedy album that the second one I was like, okay, before I record this, I'm going to just listen to as much François Pérusse as I can. I'm going to listen to all the old Adam Sandler sketch comedy albums. And I realized that every sketch just really like any sketch, audio, visual, live or whatever, you just got to have a solid hook. But what they do is there's no space in between all the lines of dialogue. You just cut out all that dead air, and it makes the sketches so much tighter. And also finding a hook that you can really maximize on the audio format is crucial, you know? So I was like, having a minotaur, someone trying to hide a minotaur in their basement would be a good idea for a sketch, you know, because you could have all these minotaur sounds and having sketches that lend themselves well to an audioscape.
Well, you talked about François Pérusse in French, but in English, who were your influencers on that?
Adam Sandler, I think.
The Adam Sandler tapes for sure. I mean, there's CBC had great comedy when I was a kid. Like when you're a kid, you don't know exactly what bad comedy is, but you know, I was watching Air Farce and I was watching This Hour's 22 Minutes, but the stuff that holds up today, like Kids in the Hall and old 90s Saturday Night Live, for sure shaped me. John Candy movies, you know, it's I guess like that's what I would say.
I see a little bit of you don't have the same style necessarily, but I see a little bit of Bill Burr into you in terms of delivery.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, because
I love Bill Burr now for sure.
Because you're not scared to tackle some subjects. Let's be honest. You don't choose the easiest way, right? And
it's boring.
Yeah, exactly. You will talk about politics, sex, religion. I really like the one on religion when you talk about, you know what, she's Christian. She wants to keep that for the right guy, the right moment. But you can't fuck me in the ass. You know? Like, me and my girlfriend just freaking laugh, you know. And then he explains, it's like, to me in the ass, it would be a notch above, right? Like, it's like when you really know the person, that there's some connection, you know? So I thought it was fucking right on point. And also, you, as I said, you talk about subject that could be really touchy, but you have an amazing delivery on the stage. But for you, is it something that when you write your comedy, is it something that you're always kind of aware of? Like, how I'm going to deliver this subject, you know, like.
I mean, I guess I always look at, I'm not interested in doing a joke that doesn't have some risk to it. Yeah. I think like, you know, wherever you take in your entertainment, like say you go to the circus, you don't want to watch someone just, you know, throwing an apple into the air over and over. You want to see someone juggle like 3-4 chainsaws.
Okay, yeah, that's a good descriptive.
Yeah. So, and I certainly, like, by no means do I try to write material that's edgy or that's gonna like make people mad. But when I'm sort of motivated to explore a subject, what gets me going is this, what interests me in real life, and that stuff that's relevant in society today. And, the hottest topics right now are topics surrounding identity and belief, so why not go there? I try not to talk about it from a place of like, I know what it's like to be someone else, but rather to talk about, what I observe in my fucking straight white body. And people usually appreciate the risk. Honestly, like I don't cross lines that get people mad at me.
Is there that's a question we're asking comedians all the time, but is there a subject that you cannot laugh about, or you think you can laugh about everything if you have the right angle?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can laugh about anything if you have the right angle, but it's just so like I don't have any rape jokes. I don't go looking for rape jokes. If I ever suddenly happen to come up with the perfect angle, like, yeah, maybe I would go there, but it doesn't interest me. Okay. I think a lot of people conflate comedians who want to go there specifically for some reason, like to harm or offend. And then there's people who, just sort of think it's an interesting high stakes subject to talk about. But the people who get angry at people who make jokes are conflating the two. And I think it's important to notice the difference.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to ask you too. With the style of humor you have, and you have a lot of people that really appreciate your comedy, but you also have always those haters that will take probably jokes to the second, to the first degree instead of being, taking it to the second degree. So how you deal with it? Is this something that affect you in any ways, or do you get heckles sometimes? People not happy with what you just said, or
very rarely. Like very rarely do people heckle me because they disagree with what I said. Yeah. People will heckle me because what I said was gross, maybe. I've had a few times where I've said things that people have gotten mad at me ideologically. Like I had a bit about the Greyhound bus beheader. But my bit was about like, how can this guy be free when what he did was so serious? Yeah. People cite mental illness, but I'm like, this isn't a guy who's kind of this isn't the guy we're hashtagging Bell Let's Talk for, because call me old fashioned. Like I think the most severe mental illness of all is having no fucking head. So I did this whole bit where I say like, I don't think he should be like euthanized or anything, but keep him in a fucking institution. And I was like screamed at by someone who was like, he's mentally ill. That's mental illness shame. Like it had nothing to do with the headless guy. Yeah. So I've had that happen, but usually people, I'm like, I'll shut up someone who's just being loud, and they get mad at me because I told them to shut up. That's usually the only thing people get mad at me for.
Oh, okay. Well, which is not a big deal. I think every comedian shut people up if they go over your show. You want to do the show, well, do it then. I've seen that a lot too. That was another question too. Like, how do you describe your style of humor? For me personally, I can't even really finger point exactly because you really shoot everywhere. But from your perspective, what's your style of humor? How do you describe your humor?
Yeah, well, I think like you said, I think it is important to shoot everywhere because it shows you're on the right side of the team. Yeah. But I had a quote in a newspaper that I think summed me up well. And this guy reviewed me, wound up becoming like a doctorate researcher for space research. He's literally like a space scientist. So he used to write for Now magazine. Jordan Bin. But his quote was wonderfully offensive left field irreverence. So
Oh,
I like that. It's sort of, it can be offensive, nice. But it's delightful and naughty, and it catches you off guard.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, I was about to tell you, even me, I think your comedy is really on a neutral perspective always, and you're not malicious on, to anything really. Like, you always bring the thing as they are, but you will never, anyway, from what I know from you, like, it's never really mean to a certain group of people or whatever. You just freely, you're really neutral, which is a really good thing. You want to see something?
It's so fun to it's a fun challenge to be, I don't know, like, I say naughty, but I don't want to be like, I'm a naughty little boy. Like, it's just like, it's funny to be like, to sort of be wrong and say talk about things you wouldn't talk about at the dinner table, and to get away with it without being offensive is, I think, one of my stronger points. And, eating out a girl on her period and stuff like that. Like, it's harmless stuff, but to pull that off is like, it's a good challenge.
but what the guy said, what the scientist said about your comedy, you should put that on a T-shirt. Huh? I like.
Hell yeah!
I like that very much. So talking about T-shirt and merch. So I went on your website. What about the Astrology Juice and Hunter Come? So if I order that, what am I expect to receive from you?
Okay, well, yeah, I've got a product on my website for sale called Astrology Juice.
Astrology Juice,
and it's a special concoction that will give you maximum astrology. And it keeps acquiring astrology the more you hold it up to the stars, and it'll just hopefully give you better luck and better crops. And that came from there's like crazy, and it's this blue liquid in a jar with the printed out Hunter Collins Astrology Juice taped to it. But it came about because all these fucking new comedians now are like talking about their tarot readings and their astrology, and I'm like, aren't we supposed to think critically? Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's all these, anyways. It's no one who works professionally talking about it. It's I just think it's insane, and I think it's crazy how the same people who rail against stereotypes are like, everyone born in December is the same.
Yeah,
So I just see astrology, all that fucking mumbo jumbo. I can't be bothered. And for me, it's fun to attack things like that, at least. The religion thing you mentioned before. Here's another one that got me kind of in trouble once. Yeah. There was like these moyals in New York City, the guys who conduct the circumcision. They're special rabbis.
Oh, wow, that's legal.
Yeah. And they're called moyals, and all these babies were contracting STDs from like herpes from these moyals, because what they do is they put wine in their mouth and suck the snipped dick skin off these babies' dicks. Mm-hmm. And so
I'm cringing.
My bit was like, it's awful, but like things like their first blowjob story sucks. Yeah. Like usually like, I was up in a treehouse with this Vietnamese acrobat. It was insane. But instead they're like, some stinky old man blew me for
it's like their dick has been, it's like their dick has been Mike Tyson's, from a ribeye. So that's
but at least Evander Holyfield's ear didn't get fucking chlamydia.
STD.
Yeah, exactly. STDs. Yeah. Oh, that's insane. I didn't even know about that story. That's amazing.
Yeah. But that's like an insane story that makes me think like, okay, how can I talk about this, without offending people? And it was very hard. Like, it's never made it onto an album. I don't do the bit anymore, but because it's just so you can't talk about baby dick sucking herpes, and think you're going to have like a 90% success rate on that joke. And I've had people be like, no.
I'm that guy. I would be like, whoa, yes, really?
They're like in disbelief.
Yeah. Well, even now I'm still shaking my head. That's fucking insane.
Right. I mean, but like that is like an evil thing. It's such an evil thing. And even though you're punching up against evil, some people just can't, they just, maybe it's the imagery of it all, or maybe it's because, Jewish people, or there's still anti-Semitism and they think it's punching down, but
yeah,
it's tricky. It is tricky.
It is really tricky, but I think just the story itself, without even making a joke, it's a fucking joke, like to me,
right?
You know what I mean? Like I'm not really a religious person, period. I mean, anyway, that's another subject, but yeah, stuff like that to me that really make me be proud of being an atheist.
Right, yeah.
That's something that, no, for sure. Hey, Hunter, by the way, I have connections that know you. No, you said once upon a time that...
The police?
The police, yeah. You said stuff before as you think you're probably one of the few comedians that actually does comedy for passion and having fun, right? Because a lot of people will do that for money or whatever. Because we know that it's a good, it could be a good money maker, but things as said, you do that for passion and having fun. I mean, do you still live at your parents' house?
Technically, no, because I've killed them.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Well, at some point, if you want the house, right?
Yeah, exactly. Technically, they're still in the walls.
In the walls, that's nice.
In the basement.
Oh God, you guys are creepy.
No, you know what? I've been lucky enough to I've had no day job for over 10 years now. Yeah. In May, I celebrated 10 years of making my living through my art.
Congratulations. That's good.
Thank you. It took me 8 years,
Yep.
But that I know the tweet you're referring to, and I actually how I might be the only comedian doing it because it's fun anymore. That was in reference to people who do comedy, I don't know, to change the world and be angry and it seems like so many people go to comedy shows not to have fun, but just like comedians, they do comedy to piss everyone off or show the world I'm so different, and it's that might be, but you're also boring. And you're boring me, and you're taking stage time away from people who want to have fun doing this. And when I started making my living at it, I think I was probably around 27, and a group of peers and we were all at the same level, and we were just rocking open mics, and we were rocking clubs, and it was so fun. And it didn't matter who you are, as long as you were a comedian, you were cool, and if gay friends, Filipino friends, fucking whatever, it doesn't matter, the religious friends, atheist friends. And then something happened, and I think I blame Trumpism, honestly, where a bunch of people just sort of got into comedy to start firing people who were having fun, and context went out the window, and people started getting mad at jokes, and it just sort of stopped being fun. It was hard to find the fun in comedy, to the point where, frankly, I honestly don't know how passionate I am about it anymore, because the environment is so exhausting, so
toxic. It's a really toxic environment.
It's not easy for comedians nowadays to do that, because no one cares about what was your intention behind the joke. No one cares about what was the context. They're gonna take a snippet from your bit and put it in newspaper and say how bad you are, and then there's no context and no intention behind it. So if you say I'm gonna rape you and you're serious, or you're gonna say I'm gonna rape you and you're a comedian, there's no difference. And also the song "Rape Me" from Nirvana, which is an anti-rape song. People still think that it's a pro-rape song, so
wow.
Oh my God.
That's stupid. So I get it. It must be really hard for you guys to find the right angle.
And it's funny because those kinds of jokes, the only people getting mad are people online who don't come to your shows, and other comedians who don't work as comedians. I don't know a single professional comedian who wastes their time dissecting other comedians' jokes. Like, what a boring, like, I got into this so I can not set my alarm and fucking play NHL 20 all day and then go do a show at night, not to go be a joke policeman online. And when you go into comedy clubs where the best comedy happens, where it isn't curated by some network for festival requirements or anything like that, no one cares. I mean, like, the comedy I do, like, I can count on two hands over 18 years the amount of times people have gotten mad at me for a joke. So in some way it's an illusion, but it's also an exhausting illusion, because now, you know, you're writing a bit and it's like, okay, okay, can I say gypsy? I say, you know, like, okay, I'm going to say normal. Oh, well, some people think saying normal is offensive to people who aren't normal. And what is normal? You know, like, so you get just like caught in your head, wasting your time worrying about people think. Like, not to compare myself to fucking Picasso, you know, but I can't think of any shitty painters. But do you think Picasso gave a fuck what anyone, like, I wouldn't have put the bull there in your painting, you know, Picasso did what Picasso fucking did, and we're losing that in comedy.
Yeah.
No, how come there's no black people Picasso on your canvas? How come it's always white people? Tell me about it.
Oh my God.
Are you racist, Picasso?
Seb, I think you just opened the door for something big here. Let's not go there.
You know, but you just come back 20 or 30 years ago, so you must know Yvon Deschamps. These guys was saying awful stuff about women. Awful stuff about gays, awful stuff about people, but you knew it was second degree. You knew it was the opposite. He was trying to achieve with his persona, right? So, but today, even if you know it's second degree, you won't get away with that. You know?
No, but you know what? I don't think Yvon Deschamps would do those jokes today either. Yeah. I think he would adapt, and that's fine.
Well, that's sad in a way, right?
But I don't feel it is sad. I think it's okay to learn and grow. Like, I have stuff I used to say in my act that I had transphobic material in old bits of mine, because I didn't understand what it was to be transgendered. You know, like, for me it was like, they're trying to trick you. You know, and when I learned differently, you know, I basically stopped doing the joke. I found a way to alter it, but I'm just not interested in talking about that anymore. And I think it's okay to grow and change. Like, you watch Eddie Murphy Delirious, which is like between that and Dennis Leary, No Cure for Cancer, those are like, those two stand-up specials were for every comedian of my generation huge. And Eddie Murphy wouldn't do those jokes today, and that's okay. But it's also okay to still laugh at them when you see them, when you rewatch them. But you just look at them through a different lens. And it's holding people to 30, like, holding people's 30-year-old sensibilities to today's standards is such a preposterous exercise.
I think, speak of transgender and all that, I think Dave Chappelle did talk a lot about it already, so I don't think there's any room for anybody to talk about this too much. Have you seen his bit about it and all that? That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
It was funny, but it wasn't a joke I would tell. Like again, that's something that I feel like he felt. They don't want me to go there. I'll show them and go there. That was
a challenge more than.
Do you think more established comedian like him or Louis C.K. or Bill Burr can say stuff that an emerging comedian cannot tackle? Do you think because they're well known, they have some kind of
Yeah, well, I think they can. I think anything they say goes over better with their audience, because. You know, you go see a Bill Burr show, you're already at the Bill Burr show because you want to see Bill Burr. When you go see me in a club, I'm just a roll of the dice. No one's coming to see the Hunter Collins show. So I have to earn their trust. Bill Burr's, he's already got you in his pocket when you show up. And I think having a big platform and a bunch of money behind you makes you a lot more invincible. You can like, those guys they can all live out the rest of their life without doing another gig ever. Like
that's true.
They're doing it out of pure either greed or joy right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's there's some comedian that speak of, when you get a lot of money, whatever, if you lose your gig, whatever, your life is done anyway. Like the guy from what's his name, Seinfeld, he did a bit there.
Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. I don't think he ever done anything else. I think that was it for him. But I mean, the guy is loaded, whatever. But he lost his mind on stage. Like that was legit being mean. No, that was awful. That was losing his freaking marble, literally.
But there's people out there. I feel like there's like newer comedians out there who look at that and you're like, great bit. I'm going to do that. All right, buddy.
That was genius.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you got a lot of money. I hope you got a lot of money in your bank account. So it's going to be your last freaking bit for sure.
Yeah.
How? So traveling. So you travel all around Canada, Hunter. And I didn't. You came in Edmonton too, like a couple of years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, I was last there like a year ago.
That was a year ago, and you were with Lars.
I don't think I've ever gigged with Lars.
No. Okay, I thought for some rean, because were you at the Urban Tavern?
No, I
thought
just to be drunk, but not for a gig.
No, because I thought Hunter, because I missed him, because I know you were coming around, and I knew you already at this time, and I totally missed your show there, so I kind of regret that.
So you're trying to convince him that he did a gig that you think he didn't?
Let's come back again.
You weren't there, Hunter. No, that was a country singer.
I totally got messed up there.
You were there at the roller disco.
A guitar. With a guitar. I remember correctly. I was drunk, but it was.
I remember I got drunk with your mom.
Oh, that was unnecessary.
So no, because the country singer, his first performance on YouTube is singing with his mom.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know Hunter's mom. Like that was just.
I'm offended.
Okay, I'm in trouble now. I'll just walk away, guys. So so you went all around Canada and everything, and but since the COVID, obviously you didn't go too far. But what's your intake on the comedy world right now in terms of, because traveling Canada and all that? Do you think you guys still have that camaraderie, where, you're a comedian, shake hand, we all love each other, or the market became really competitive and kind of mean towards each other sometime? Like how that works? Because I heard all kind of story. I did interview a lot of a comedian, and I have all kind of output on this.
Well, I guess first thing I was coming out of the Humber Comedy School. We were 19 when we went in, 21 when we came out, and all the older comedians, like the comedians who were my age 20 years ago, were so mean to us, and they were very protectionist about stage time. And they would talk down to us and, call us open mic losers and all that shit. Nice. That made us stick together. And I think sort of like resigned to always be cooler to the younger kids coming up when we would be in that position. And we were, and we've been cool to all these fucking younger kids. And now the cool thing is for the young kids to be shitty to us because we're old fucking losers.
Nice.
So like the roles have reversed.
Payback.
But, the other thing is that you're not going to tour extensively if you don't get good at it. And so rarely do I encounter a comedian in a professional situation where I don't get along with them. And if anything, I think touring nationally has like gained me just a ton of friends across the country and a bunch of allies I can hit up, if I'm in their town, like where can I get a nice money gig? And they're more than forthcoming about it. So just being kind has paid off so much in this business. I hope those days aren't over. I can't, just talking about it, I actually do really miss the road. I miss Western Canada. I have so much fun out there. And there's so much shit talk about the populations in various provinces, like.
Say it, Alberta.
Yeah, well, but Alberta, BC, fucking out east, Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah. And the more you tour, the more you realize this whole goddamn country is the same.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I did Yellowknife in 2015.
Oh, wow.
That was really eye-opening. Like, I was expecting, I felt like an American picturing Toronto. I was picturing igloos and moose, and fucking, whale blubber, breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah,
But I got there and I was like, A&W, huh? Wow, eh? That must be where the first people who crossed the Bering Strait got their bacon and eggers.
Yeah, exactly.
And I realized Yellowknife's the same as fucking Minden is the same as fucking Drumheller, Alberta. It's all the same thing. Like, there's slight differences, but really people are just there for a show. I find that in the smaller towns, you have to prove yourself a little more. They're like, who's big city boy there in his city jeans and his city sweater trying to tell me what's funny. But you win them over and you have a good time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yellowknife, just because you talk about Yellowknife, I've been there too, and it's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful town, and you got a little Irish pub there on the main street that I went. I don't remember the name, but holy fuck, man, did I ever get drunk? Super nice people. And which hotel were you? The one with the big bear in the entrance, the big polar bear in the entrance? I think that's the only nice hotel.
I was at the one where the waitresses from the bar come back with you after the show.
Oh, I didn't have that to you, perv.
That's an igloo, right?
That's an igloo. I even been. Have you had the chance to go to Little Town in that same area? Like, there's one they call Fort Simpson.
No. What's the story there?
Buddy, that's a little town. They have one bar they call the Icebreaker, obviously. It's minus 60 in all time. And anyway, like, just the road to get there is pretty scary. But when you get there, like, it's a really nice community. But the only thing that really shocked me over there, and that is no joke, you go to the grocery store because they don't have hotel. They have Airbnb or whatever they call it. You rent a room in the house and you go buy like just a 1 liter of milk and a box of Frosted Flake, and it will cost you about like $26. Like,
wow.
It's really insane. I spent a little bit of time in this area, but yeah, that's nice. The Yellowknife is a nice place to visit. There's not much going on really, but it's just the lifestyle, and it's the only place where you go, you rent a car. You get off the plane, you rent a car, and they give you an old piece of shit car that barely works. I was like, wow, okay, that really tells me where I am. That's awesome. But I really
if I could describe Yellowknife, I would be like, picture Welland, Ontario, but people wear a lot more seal fur.
Yes.
And the ravens are the size of golden retrievers.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, that's exactly it. Those big mitts, those big fur mitts, you saw those? Everybody's got them. Yeah. They have go ahead.
I saw a raven lifting kettlebells.
That's fucking insane. It's true though. Like, those mitts, I swear to God, Seb, it's like a full fox. Like, you got two fox in your hand, basically. They kill it, empty it. There you go. The head is on top, and that's your best, buddy. Like,
so that's PETA Dream City, right?
Oh,
100%.
Oh yeah, that would be a lot of. Well, I mean, it's so cold.
There's one thing I missed. I was there in end of November, and the day I left it, the temperature dropped 20 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And apparently in January, when the northern lights are out, Yellowknife gets a lot of Japanese tourists because it's good luck to conceive under lights. And so there's this big ice field where they get these tents with like clear roofs on the tents. A bunch of Japanese tourists just bang the shit out of each other under the northern lights for good luck. And you can, apparently the mayor, if you're visiting, he'll take you around and be like, there's a Japanese fuck camps right there. You could just watch the tents wiggling under the northern lights.
That is insanity. I never heard about that. That's awesome. Yeah. I would definitely invest in that kind of business. Guaranteed revenue. Did you notice also? I don't know. I just like Yellowknife, but when I left Yellowknife, it was about the same time than you were there, about like November. And before we entered the plane, and it was like minus 50 freaking thousand degree. Yeah. And then they start de-icing the airplane, and because we stay a little bit longer, we stay like maybe 40 minutes longer than we should have. They have to de-ice again. And I'm like, oh my God, are we gonna take off in that plane? Is it okay? Like seriously? Oh yeah, you got a little moment of panic. So were you there for a couple of days, or there was just
2 nights? I did 2 nights, 1 show each night.
Yeah, for sure you get drunk. You got drunk there.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. Open tab. It's great.
Oh, buddy.
The shows were awesome, man. It was like, and I was middling, and I think I made $400 a show. It was awesome.
Oh my God, yeah, that's the kind of place for that. Have you ever been there, Seb?
Nope.
Northwest Territory? Never.
The northest place I went is Alaska on a cruise. So. With 65-year-old people, and I was like, "Woo, buffet and everything."
How exciting! mimosa in the morning.
Yeah, I think I saw some kind of an orca and everything, but yeah, I think I
those
saw
things from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Exactly, and the guy, My Precious, and he was there too. So that was nice, beautiful.
So I went across something, Hunter, just the past couple of days when I was doing a little bit of research, on your case, because obviously I didn't grow up with you, so I needed to know a little bit more about you. I saw something that catch my attention, and it's fucking genius. I love it. I don't know if you still do it. I don't know if you know what I'm going to talk about. It's during Christmas time.
Oh, yeah, the eggnog fiasco.
The eggnog fiasco. What the hell is that all about? That is insane.
Yeah, it isn't. It's insane. It's my favorite show of the year every year. I hope we get to do it this year. It would be the 12th annual. And so what I do is I sit on stage for the whole show, and I get progressively hammered on as much eggnog as I can. And I bring up comedians, and I just interrupt their sets as much as I want. And they don't have to do comedy. They can do whatever they want. They can just talk to me. We just go back and forth. And it's kind of like watching a man deteriorate before your very eyes.
Yeah.
And I can handle my booze. It's really the dairy that fucks me up the worst. Mm-hmm. So, and I just get heavy and angry, but the sugar keeps the rage boiling, and it's so much fun. I mean, we donated the money from last year to the Canadian Association of Stand-Up Comedians. I'll keep, I think, giving the money to charity as we go, but it's kind of a fun release for a lot of the local comedians. It's got a bit of a Festivus vibe in that you release your grievances, and we sort of, just talk a bunch of shit. It's kind of like we live roast each other a little bit. It's got a bit of a roast battle thing. And by the end of the show, I'm like completely destroyed. The show always goes like an hour and a half too long. I'll be up there. It's like a 3-hour show.
Fuck.
And we always do it at a weed venue. So the people watching are all high, and it's like a win-win for everybody.
So do your lineup is the people you like the least at the end, so you can rebel on
honestly, them? It's whoever shows up goes up. Okay. It's wild. And so sometimes there's some real eager comedians who are like, I just want the stage time. Yeah. And they start like piping out their best 3 minutes, and and I'm like, where did you come up with that joke? Your grandma's asshole or whatever.
So you're like Jamie Foxx at the football guy roast where there were a comedian and it was, this is your conscience. Wrap it up. Did you see that?
No, I don't think
man, I'm gonna put the link in the podcast notes. That's hilarious.
You have to put that.
There's an unknown comedian that is roasting. I don't remember the name of the Dallas Cowboy player, but and Jamie Foxx is the roast master. And after maybe 5 minutes, it's like, it's your conscience. Do you have a good joke? If not, I would wrap it up. You roast him big time on that's magic.
That's awesome.
Get you a real car. I thought that was funny. Go ahead. And Jamie. Get you a real car. And Jamie, we happy for you. You done been in what, 2 hit movies? Y'all get up. You been in 2 hit movies. We happy. Because you got off to a slow start, nigga. Nobody here saw Held Up or Bait. Did anybody here see Held Up or Bait? Nigga, thank God you got an LE. Nigga, thank God you got an LE.
Thank God I got an Ali. Boy, you great.
All right. And what's up, Monique? They was talking about big women. I love big women, baby.
Thank you, baby.
I love big women. I love you because you are proud of the fact that you big.
You better know it.
I'm tired of all these skinny bitches who won't admit that big women look good.
That's what I'm talking about.
I hate big women that try to hide the fact that they're big. They always say, I'm just big boned. Nah, bitch, you got regular bones with big ass meat wrapped around them. That's why I love you, man.
Big bonus. Get him, dog.
And Mike, where the hoes at, man? Where the hoes at? I came here to get some of these hoes, man. You got no hoes? No cocaine? Nigga, no wonder this party's so dead. We want you to light this shit up.
Where is he right now? We're here for Emmett Smith. Do you have any jokes for him tonight?
Guy Tory got everybody out of the way, and I did too. I want to say this to Emmett Smith, man.
I'm your conscience.
It is a pleasure.
Man, it sure did get hot in here. Am I fucking up right now? I'm your conscience. I really don't need to be up here right now. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
His brother start making money, you can't tell him shit.
I'm your conscience.
All right.
I wish I was in a movie with Jamie. Maybe
You right about that.
48 hours.
You are right about that.
72 hours.
In fact,
I don't know.
In fact, nigga, I need a cosigner. Can you cosign on the car for me?
I just did another joke that didn't go over. I'm your conscience. Maybe I should say something nice about Emmett and wrap it up. Or maybe I should talk about how black people have to struggle. Yeah, that'll get them on my side.
Awesome.
And the guy kept going too, and he tried to kind of, take himself out of the hole, but Jamie Foxx just bring him right down. It's like, that's
at the beginning. He tried to go, toe to toe with Jamie Foxx, saying, fortunately you had Ali, and said, fortunately you had Ali. That was a good joke in my head. So it's burying him to the ground. So that's beautiful. So just on YouTube, I think if you type Jamie Foxx roasts or something like that,
I'm sure.
Yeah, you'll get it.
We'll put a little piece when we're talking on the setup. Also,
yes, master.
Yes, master. no, that I like that concept. It's fucking genius. And basically, is it like an open mic? Like anybody show up and they can get on the stage, or you kind of have some?
Yeah. I usually have an idea of how many people are going to come up. So it's usually everyone's doing 3 or 4 minutes, and there's just in the back of the room, you just see a pile of comedians, and I'll be like, okay, the next 4 is going to be Bill, Mary, Frank, and Lisa, and so they know when they're coming up, and it's real fast, bing, bang, bang. And it is totally open mic, but most people know not to do their material; they'll just get buried.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to see just the last half an hour. Just that for me, when you're like completely annihilated, like just
yeah, just the part when in retrospect you're saying, "Oh, that was an hour too much." That part.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's probably
that's
the
usually
one.
when I'm into like my 4th liter of eggnog.
Oh my God,
which
buddy.
is my record.
So,
and I puked that year.
So is eggnog the same thing we find in I think it's Untercom in your website? Is it the same thing? Same color, at least, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
God.
it hasn't made its way out of my system since last Christmas. So if I fire a load in your mouth, you're going to taste nutmeg for sure.
Good to know.
That is. I'm really hungry right now for some reason.
Oh my God, that's awkward.
That is. Other thing that's really important during that show, is your mom come and pick you up at night, or?
At the end, you don't drive at the end, right?
Man, no, man. My girlfriend usually accompanies me home.
Okay.
And then I'm always like, that show went great. We were on time. We got out early. She's like, that show was 3 hours long, you drunk idiot.
Do you have some blackouts sometimes? There's parts you totally don't remember?
Honestly, I go into like a sort of cream-infused trance state when I'm on stage. Yeah. So I don't remember anything that ever happens. And it's usually people feeling me in like, oh, when you roasted that guy, I was awesome or something. I just take their word for it. But I usually remember getting off stage and how anticlimactic it always is. But no blackouts. I've puked once on stage and once outside the show in 11 years.
Classic. No, that's not bad. You're pretty
good
tough.
average.
Yeah.
We have actually on YouTube. We got a little bit of that show there. So
nice.
Yeah. So we'll put a little bit there too. When we do the we have to especially we'll try to get the worst of you and just to bring the worst of you to everyone. That's Hunter Collins here.
That's so funny. I've never seen any of that show and what it's like. No idea what you could even put up, so have fun with that.
No, that will be interesting. Hey, other than that, Hunter, I want to talk about, we all know with what's going on right now, the COVID, everybody's kind of on hold. I heard that some people in Ontario started to do comedy again. Like the good example, Derek Seguin hit a few clubs there so far. What's going on with Hunter lately? Are you starting again or?
Really, I've been like kind of interested in pitching horror series. I've been working on a horror project, and I shot a short horror film in November of 2019, and everything was lining up so that we'd have it ready to go for festival season in 2020 before the world shut down. And I'm not really interested in putting my fucking like $7,000 project into virtual festivals or anything like that. So it's just on hold now. So I've fleshed that out into like an episodic series, and I find horror just a lot more engaging for me now. Like I don't find comedy funny anymore. I know that sounds weird, but
no.
Just everyone's jokes are so fucking whack. Mine included. Like there's just nothing funny about comedy to me right now. So I do have a club date in September.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
Yeah, I'm playing a club in Burlington, Ontario. So I'll see how that makes me feel.
Yeah. You'll feel the field a little bit, see how it is.
Yeah. But yeah, people are doing shows here, backyards, parks. I think the clubs are opening back up at some capacity in September. So we'll see what that's like.
Do you remember the name of the teacher who told you that you won't be doing any film in your life or any movies in your life?
Sure.
So how cool would it be if you won an award and just say, oh, and by the way, Mr. Harris, fuck you.
Actually, I did win a couple of awards for a short cartoon I made called Hawkeye Sucks. And that was a track off my last sketch album. And the record label paid to have it turned into a cartoon to promote the album. And then we put it into a bunch of festivals. And We won a couple of like best animation awards in Portland and in
that's the cover of your album, Hunter, isn't it? The cartoonish kind of character. I saw that.
Yeah, but this sketch is about Stan Lee pitching the character of Hawkeye to Marvel.
Yeah.
But Stan Lee's clearly been like huffing glue in his Jeep all day, and this is the best he could come up with.
Nice.
And and we got like one of the animators from a crazy famous cartoon to animate it for us. But since you were also animated for Marvel cartoons, we couldn't tell anybody, which would have been so awesome. Like he animates for the show. It rhymes with Blarcher, and it would have been really cool to promote that, but we couldn't. We didn't want to get the guy in trouble.
Yeah. But I saw those the Stanley character and all that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Stanley was actually, you know what? I listened something this week about Stanley. Apparently, he was a freaking piece of, like to work with.
Yeah.
He was a really difficult person, really mean to people. So,
yeah, he's a Nazi, gluten intolerant.
Just that alone. Just that alone. That's enough.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, he was
always listening to fucking trance music in the office. What an asshole!
What a piece of that
music,
Yeah, squeaky shoes.
Yeah.
Nice.
G-string. Okay.
I was you guys going way too far. I was talking to Angelo, the last comedian I had on our podcast. That was Angelo Tsaroukas. You know him really well, right?
Oh yeah. I don't know him really well. I've actually never met Angelo, but I know him.
As a comedian, and the guys have years and years of experience, and he's the most humble person. Like, I mean, he did some act, in all Hollywood, and he had his own movie, Vinny. Anyway, like a really, really funny movie. And I was talking to him about those things with comedy these days, and Angelo is the most supportive for dark comedy and stuff. He's like, everything should be said and laughed at, if it's delivered properly. And he was just talking about Mike Ward also, how, supportive it is. And anyway, so he's a really amazing guy. And I was about to tell you, he's got a huge show in LA in a comedy club over there, the Laugh Factory. You know that comedy, right? And that's something that maybe next year or something, that would be something that you should experience, going with Angelo and Tom Green and all these guys.
The Canadian show.
Yeah, the Canadian show. I got Lars already. He was on our podcast with Angelo.
Nice.
And Lars is gonna go. I got Lars set up there. So next big show he'll be there, and that's something maybe you should talk to Angelo about, or maybe I'll slip your name there. Hey, you want some Canadian? There you go, Hunter.
Nice. Yeah. All right. 2022.
So what's your cut on that call? 20%? Are we talking?
A good 20%. No, actually, there's no money involved in that show. People go there, show up, do the show, and you don't really make $1,000 doing that. It's really to meet people, get new connection, and give a really good exposure too. So it's something really interesting. But I hope, I really hope that you're gonna get back into comedy anyway, sometime soon, or as you said, I think you said 2022 or something.
Yeah.
Is it something, seriously? I know you're really into movies and all that. But is it something that eventually, when the tension and everything comes down, after the COVID and the Trump administration finally get the fuck out of there, maybe everything's going to come back a little bit better to normal?
I think it would definitely help, and it would stop everyone from looking at everything through a lens of you're either this or that, I watched Jojo Rabbit last night. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right away I was like, oh my God, this is a movie about cute Hitler? Like, how are they going to pull this off? And it was marvelous.
Friendly Hitler that is played by the director.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm sure some people who have no stake in the Holocaust or Judaism or anything were real mad about this. But I mean, he won Academy Award for Best Screenplay, and my God, it was brilliant. And that's like really sort of a level to shoot for when you're handling sensitive material. I feel like to make something where you're using the hate to sort of spin a narrative that actually attacks the person creating it. You know, it was so clearly, blatantly satirical. And I think some people, I don't know, I just don't think they're smart enough to identify satire. That's the only way I can figure it out. They must be just dumb. But yeah, Jojo Rabbit is really like there's some jokes in that movie where like the Jewish girl looks herself in the mirror and she's got like a smudge on her face and goes, "What a dirty Jew." And I was like, holy fuck.
And if I remember correctly, the little guy said some harsh stuff to her as well at some point.
Terrible. Where do you lay your eggs and all this shit?
Yeah, something like that. So go back, hide in the closet and everything, you know, some kind of like Anne Frank, you know. So
yeah, exactly. But I think that's sort of the level, like that's high level what I shoot for. But that's aspirational for me for sure.
I clearly have to watch that movie.
Yeah,
I
that's very
didn't
good.
watch it. I like those kind of movies.
I think it's on Netflix right now or
it's on Crave.
Crave, okay. Yeah. So
this part is sponsored by Netflix.
Or Crave. Bell. We're open to sponsorship, Bell. So if you want to talk to her.
Well, I think we went around Hunter, and anything in the future that you would like to plug right now, or it's pretty much on hold?
Just tune in. Just, you know, I got my Twitter and my Instagram, and I'm easy to find. Hunter Comedy on Instagram and Hunter_Collins on Twitter. That's it, really. That's where that's the only avenue for my work.
What I like too for everyone, you have tons of video on YouTube, and it's really it's really easy to find him and see what kind of comedian he is. A lot of people know you actually, like you're not unknown from anyone, but for the one that doesn't know you yet, definitely go on YouTube. Don't click on the singer with the guitar. That's not Hunter. That's another one. Yeah. So well, you know what, Hunter, you're really, really generous of your time, and I can't wait to see a new stand-up comedy from you, hopefully soon.
I've got a new album. I got a new stand-up album and a new sketch album, at least, in me still.
That's awesome. It's not okay. It's gonna come out soon, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to record them, but you
have to record them. That's great.
I want to make a nincompoop.
Yeah, well, that's a great idea.
And how your horror stuff is going? Are you advanced in that, or is it just the beginning stage, or what you were talking about?
I'm at the pitch stage right now. So there was the Netflix submissions for like Canadian creators passed in middle of August. So I got it in for that, but I'm obviously you can't hold your breath for fucking Netflix to give you a development deal. I just finished a development deal with CBC on a comedy series, so I've got a better idea of how that works. And so I'm just going to pitch this horror project to production companies, and I'm just I've always been passionate about horror. I've got I had this monthly show in Toronto called Guts for Laughs, where we screen a horror movie, and we have a panel of 5 comedians with microphones basically roasting it live on the spot.
Some are so easy to roast, huh? Especially old flicks like I don't know which ones, but you look at them and you just laugh because it's so ridiculous, right?
So, that 80s stuff is really a sweet spot.
That's great. Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that, and the short movie it's called When They Come, and we have to get it colored. And then it's pretty much ready to go. But again, I need festivals to be up and running live again before I start putting it out there.
Yeah. It's so depressing.
It really is.
Man. buddy. Yeah, that's why I don't blame you for staying away from comedy and all that. And you know what? I talked to Kevin Albus. I don't know if you know him. He's a comedian around here, and same thing for him. He put a pause to that. It's like, you know what? That's not even fun anymore right now. Like,
that was the beauty of stand-up, is like you can come up with the joke at 3 p.m. and go try it out at 8.
Yeah.
And you have instant feedback as to whether your art has value or not, or if it needs a bit more work. Now there's just fucking nothing. There's nowhere to put this shit. You can go put it on Twitter for likes or whatever, but if you're a fucking nobody, like me, like no one's gonna fucking watch your shit. Like it's a vacuum.
Yeah. Basically, you want to say? Go ahead.
We were talking about Netflix and everything. Did you guys saw the? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the title. I think it's Homemade. Something, yeah. So those are short films done by artists around the world about what they're living through with the coronavirus and everything. I know Kristen Stewart did one. Mikey.
Gyllenhaal
done that as well. So, and there's one from Mexico. So that's really cool. Those are 10 minutes flicks that you can look at, and they're all talking about their reality for the coronavirus. So I don't know if they're still doing stuff or taking new movies for that, but that may be something interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's Homemade. So if you want to take a look at that, yeah.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Great.
That's amazing. Yeah. We'll see Hunter there. make something hot.
Yeah. I
have to do another lousy podcast. Oh my God.
Okay. This is fun. You're the first people I've spoken to since March 5th.
Oh,
how depressing.
You did great. You did great.
Actually, I spent the early part of the pandemic, I spent making fake commercials for a company called Dave's Cum. And it's just and it's like this ethically sourced cum company that just sells cum in a jar. But I just sort of like made them almost like a dairy commercial. So nice. Have a look at Dave's Cum. Those I'm pretty proud of that stuff.
All right. So, but I think now my advice would be you can start to talk to your girlfriend back now. So I haven't spoke to anybody since March. I think you're due to talk to her.
I've been since the beginning of the pandemic. The only thing I've been doing is getting fat. I really did. I gained like about 20 pounds. So I always talk about it because I still don't accept it, and I like it because I love food and I like junk food. Before I was always at the gym, no junk food and stuff like that. Yeah. And now I really can't stop. So I'm gonna have to do a therapy or something. Yeah. It's getting pretty bad to the point that my girlfriend gave me two choices. You lose weight or there's a door there.
Wow, that's harsh, but I'm working on my third chin, and my girlfriend is okay with that for now. So I don't know how many chins it's going to take for her to take notice, but now it's okay.
It sounds like maybe COVID would help you guys.
If I get sick, probably I'll lose a little bit of weight. I heard that it's a great therapy to lose weight, but
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I prefer not going this way. But the pandemic sucks, man. Like you stay home, do nothing, play video game, and right now I'm back to work, of course. But I was 1 month literally like doing nothing, like to the point, as I said, like I wouldn't even shower. I wouldn't shower for 4 days, same clothes.
Sure.
Yeah. My girlfriend loved it.
Sure.
Well, we were both like that. We look at each other. Wow, we're pretty disgusting, aren't we? Maybe we should take a shower this month.
Yeah, but with no money coming in to buy groceries, it's like, hey, free flies.
There you go. That's a good way. Well, anyway, Seb, do you want to say a few words in French there?
T'as-tu pensé un jour peut-être faire un sugar sammy de toi-même puis faire un bilingual show?
Ouais. J'ai pensé à ça assez sérieusement, mais j'ai fait peut-être 3 spectacles en français lors des 5 dernières années. Puis chaque spectacle était c'était allé un peu mieux. Mm-hmm. Mais je suis quand même pas super à l'aise, comme si quelqu'un était pour me guider après. Là. Ouais. Je sais pas ce que je dirais.
Ta gueule, puis tu continues.
Ouais, parce que je fais plein de voix hors champ. Mm-hmm. C'est comme c'est ça mon boulot, surtout durant la pandémie. Fait que, je trouve mon accent est quand même correct, mais des fois mes mots ils me manquent, mon vocabulaire il me manque des fois. Fait que conversationnel, tu sais, ça roule pas aussi facilement que ça roulait lors de la vingtaine.
Ah. Maternelle, ouais.
Ouais.
C'est ça que je disais à Hunter, like, c'est comme le meilleur exemple d'Eric Séguin. Derek Séguin, il killed the stage en anglais. Ben, j'ai vu une bite en français, puis je me disais dans ma tête, non, Derek, va-t'en pas là. Je l'adore, il est super bon. Mais tu sais, je non, l'anglais, puis Derek, c'est même pas un gars, l'anglais, c'est même pas son premier langage, mais il y a un accent qui donne une couleur à sa comédie en anglais, tu sais. Puis Hunter, il a raison, même moi, je parle français-anglais, mais j'ai de la misère à m'exprimer dans les deux langues. Fait que je peux juste m'imaginer vous autres, là.
Sugar Sammy a mis la table beaucoup sur niaiser les Québécois puis les séparatistes, là.
Wow, c'est sûr qu'il faut niaiser les Québécois là-dessus. Tu peux pas passer à côté. Mais anyway, ben, c'est
Your
ça.
words, not mine.
Je pense que ça avait donné un petit peu d'inspiration à Hunter pendant que... Je pense que ça avait 12 ans dans le temps du référendum en 95.
Ouais.
Puis ça t'avait boosté. Ça t'avait boosté un peu, je pense.
Non, c'était chiant, là. Les gens, ils te regardaient juste comme ta langue, c'était ton identité. J'avais autant d'amis, qui s'appelaient Michael, qui s'appelaient Jean-Philippe.
Ouais.
Non, c'est ça. Puis tu parlais un peu plus tôt de quand t'es partout dans le Canada, on se ressemble tous. T'sais. Puis ça, c'est une chose que les Québécois ils ont jamais voyagé dans le Canada ont une méconnaissance de ça. Parce que moi, je viens de parents séparatistes, là, mais puis je suis plus maintenant, mais quand j'ai voyagé dans le monde et surtout dans le Canada, j'ai vu, on est tous pareils dans le fond, mais tu sais, oui, il y a des différences, mais il y a des différences entre Montréal et Gaspésie. Il y a des différences entre Montréal et Québec. Fait tu sais, mais on
il y a une différence entre le plateau et Hochelaga.
Exact.
Ouais, c'est ça, exactement.
Fait que, non, mais t'as entièrement raison quand tu disais ça. Puis c'est une méconnaissance qu'on a, les Québécois, souvent, parce qu'on est souvent au Québec, puis on se tient au Québec, puis des émissions du Québec. Tu sais, c'est pas tous les Québécois qui vont aller écouter CBC. Tu parlais de This Hour at 22 Minutes. C'est pas tout le monde qui veut écouter ça. C'est pas tout le monde qui veut écouter le pendant de Jérémy Dufort en anglais. Tu sais. Fait que mais quand tu fais ça, tu te rends compte qu'on a les mêmes écœurites du fédéral, même en Alberta sont écœurites du fédéral. Tu sais. Fait que, tout le monde a la même affaire. Tu sais. Fait que
exactement. Il y a des franco-albertains, puis tout. Il y a des francophones partout. Moi, je fais mes jokes à propos du bilinguisme, de Terre-Neuve jusqu'à Victoria, puis ça fesse partout, man.
Ah ouais, c'est ça.
Ah, c'est sûr. Il y a plus de Français que le monde peut penser en Alberta. Ben, je vais te dire une petite joke là-dessus. Ben, c'est pas vraiment une joke. Il y a un de mes amis qui est venu du Québec me visiter. Puis on s'en va à l'épicerie, puis j'ai dit, non, il y a beaucoup de Français ici, fais attention quand tu parles français, pensez que le monde te comprenne pas. Il dit, ben voyons. On va à l'épicerie, puis la caissière était très jolie, puis il dit, j'y ferais pas mal à elle, tu sais. Puis il dit ça direct dans sa face. Là, je dis, fais attention, man, fais pas ça. Ben, il a dit d'autres choses d'un peu plus crues, là. Mais mettons que je vais laisser ça comme ça, ouais, genre, j'y mangerais bien l'arrière-train. Ouais, puis à la fin, c'est drôle, moi, tu sais, je passe, ça, c'est à son tour, elle met ses affaires, elle prend ses affaires, puis elle dit, hey, veux-tu un sac avec ça?
Oh, nice!
Il a arrêté de dire des niaiseries.
Moi, il m'est arrivé le contraire à l'île de Saint-Martin. Tu sais, dans Saint-Martin, si vous êtes déjà allé, il y a une partie qui est hollandais, puis tu as une partie qui est française. Puis, fait que tu as Saint-Martin qui est hollandais, puis tu as Saint-Martin qui est français. Puis, je suis allé à Saint-Martin, puis à un moment donné, une des caissières a passé des commentaires sur les clients, tu sais. Fait un moment donné, je suis allé la voir, je dis, tiens, il y a du monde qui parle français. Hein? Elle fait, oh non, mais non, là. Il était tout mal pris. Là, mais j'avais fais attention à ce que tu dis. Elle parlait pas de nous autres, mais elle parlait d'un couple d'Américains un peu obèses. Là. Puis là, je suis allé la voir, je dis, tu sais jamais qui est là. Hein?
Ça donne des moments. Là. C'est comme mon chum qui s'en va commander au Subway. Il dit, il demande, what kind of bread do you want? I'll take a brown pain.
I'll take a pain, yes.
I'll take a brown pain. C'est des affaires de... Puis c'est ça qui fait la beauté, justement, de multiculturel. Mais anyway, c'est ça, on peut continuer bien longtemps là-dessus. Okay, thank you very much, Hunter, for being there. You're really generous with us, buddy. And I can't wait to see what's coming in the future with you. Merci beaucoup, Hunter. Tu as été très généreux. Merci à Seb. Thank you very much, Seb, for everything.
My pleasure, man.
So you guys have a great day, and thanks for everybody to follow.
Thank you, Hunter.
Following us.
I appreciate
Bonsoir, elle est partie.
it. Bonsoir, Roger Brulotte.
Salut mon chum.